Hi everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to learn about how we can make an HTTP server in Node.js. But before making an HTTP server, let us understand what an HTTP server is. So an HTTP server is an application or a software that processes and delivers web content to the client over the internet using this protocol known as HTTP. Here, HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So let me repeat it again. An HTTP server is an application that processes and delivers web content to the client over the internet using this HTTP protocol. So let's learn how we can make this HTTP server. So let's create a folder. Let's call it HTTP server. And in this folder, let's make a new file. Let's call it server.js. So here we are going to use this HTTP module that Node.js provide to make our HTTP server. So let's import it. Const HTTP equal require. So I am using this common JS module pattern HTTP. Okay, so I have imported this HTTP module from this Node.js. Okay, now we have to create a server. So let's create a server. Const server is equal HTTP. So to create a server, we will need a method called create server. So create server. This create server takes a callback function. So let's put a callback function over here. And this callback function has two arguments, request and response. So req means request, res means response. Okay, and here inside this callback we can define all the request handlers, and here let's send a response. So how do we send a response? We do res dot end and our response. So let's write welcome to the server. Okay, so we have created a server. Now what's left? Now we have to bind this server to a port. So you might be wondering what a port is. So a port is basically used to identify a running process in your computer. For example, if a WhatsApp message comes to your computer, it should go to the WhatsApp application. And if an email comes to your computer, it should go to email application. Here, if a request comes to this server, it should go to this server only. It shouldn't go to WhatsApp or any other application. So we have to bind this application to a port. Basically, in a computer, we have around 65,000 ports, out of which around 1,000 are reserved. So we cannot use them. We can use other ports. Okay, so here we are going to use, let's say, port 3000. You can use port 4000, 5000, doesn't matter. So let's use port 3000 to bind this server. So how do we bind this server to a port? So we use server dot listen, and this takes first the port number. So here we are binding this application to port 3000, and then a callback function. Okay, so callback function, and in this callback function, let's do a console.log. Let's write server started at port 3000. Okay, let me do a quick recap of what we did. So first we imported this HTTP module from Node.js. Then we created a server using this create server, this take and callback function. In this callback function, we have two arguments, request and response. And then we binded this server with a port. Here we are using port 3000. Okay. So now let's run this application. So how do we run this application? Let's go to this HTTP server folder, cd HTTP server. Here we have the server.js. So let's run it, node --watch server.js. And here you can see server started at port 3000. So in our browser, let's open this port 3000. So localhost 3000. And here you can see welcome to the server. Okay, cool. So let's make more request handlers. So how do we make more request handlers? Let's come to our code, and over here, if this request.url is equal slash, let's say, home, then we will send this response. So we'll send this response res dot end, and here we'll send welcome to the home page. Welcome to the home page. So if the request URL is slash home, then we are sending this message, and if the request URL is, let's say, shopping, so let's send this message. Let's go shopping, else we'll send this message. Okay, so if the URL is slash home, we are sending this message, that is welcome to the home page. If it is shopping, we'll send this message, let's go shopping. And if it is slash, that means welcome to the server. So let's check whether it works or not. So let's go to the home endpoint, so slash home and welcome to the home page. Let's check the shopping endpoint, so shopping, and it is showing this welcome to the server. Oh, I'm using this capital S, we have to use small s. And yeah, let's go shopping. So if the URL is slash home, we are sending this. If the URL is slash shopping, we are sending this message. And if the URL is slash, we are sending this welcome to the server message. Okay, so this is how we define request handlers in this server. So now let me summarize what we did in this video. We first imported this HTTP module, we created this server, then we defined all the request handlers, and then we binded the server to a port. Okay, so 4 steps. So let me write it over here. The first step was importing the HTTP module. The second step was creating a server. The third step was defining the request handlers, and the fourth step was binding the server with a server to a port. Okay, so this is how we write. So this is how we can make an HTTP server in Node.js. But for big projects, we use a framework like Express.js, because it provides a lot of functionality. So we'll be learning about this Express.js framework in our next course, where we are going to make a really cool project, that is a Twitter backend, a full-fledged Twitter backend. So I'll see you there. Thank you.